Paul Friedman. I am founder of the Marriage Foundation, and this particular video was not given to me by our staff. This idea came to me while I was meditating. Way back when I began helping people with their marriages, it was after a stint as a divorce mediator. For a very obvious reason, a lot of people who came to me for marriage help were on one spiritual path or another. And when I use that term, I'm not talking about religion. I'm talking about spiritual. Now, I worked with movie stars. I worked with directors, producers, storytellers. They would drive from Hollywood to see me in Del Mar. But I worked with normal people as well. The reason why I'm doing this particular video, I believe, is because there are many people who are on a spiritual path and their marriage is failing just like everyone else's. My own life has been a spiritual life. I began when I was just 21 years old, where I started to discover the truth that it didn't matter what religion, what mattered was that I could find God. And I went on a search. And at that time, my search went all the way from one end to another. I grew up Jewish, Orthodox actually, so I literally went to the rabbi of our family when I was a little kid and said, "Rabbi, I'd like to study the Torah." And I'm not going to tell you exactly what happened, but it wasn't what I expected. So then I started looking around. I got into discovering Eastern philosophies, Eastern religions. I was reading a lot of books. I discovered that Jesus was real and that he sort of got taken over by Christians, but he was here for everybody. But I discovered the same was true for the other prophets, those who came before Jesus, like Krishna and Buddha, who came before Jesus came, and since. My point is that I don't see a spiritual life as necessitating a religious life, nor do I see a religious life interfering with a spiritual life. And so as it turned out, many people who were suffering in their marriages were on a spiritual path, a defined spiritual path. I met with devotees of Amma, Satchidananda, Yogananda, Krishna devotees, people who were Baptists, people who were Jewish. It really didn't matter. Because when I got into marriage, I discovered that marriage is itself a spiritual path. Why? Because we're souls. And the word marriage means union. It is the union between two soulmates. It's holy and it's beautiful. And the deeper I got into marriage, the more I realized that one can actually achieve God realization through marriage. Not that I have, don't get me wrong. But it's possible. And it's backed up by things that I had read by different masters. Because the ultimate goal of marriage is happiness, which is a very spiritual goal, joy, and love. And what is more spiritual than love? The problem that all of us have in our marriages, until we start learning about marriage, is that we haven't defined the steps, the necessary steps that we must take in order to achieve a very perfect marriage. And we can have a perfect marriage without ourselves being perfect. The essence of what I now teach through my books, the Marriage Foundation courses, the videos that you're looking at right now, I want you to know that it's all based on the science of religion and the science of marriage that until now has not been unraveled, but I've done that, and it's so amazingly beautiful. Western psychology has no business being involved in marriages. This is not a put down of therapists. They're good people, but they have been mistaught about marriage. Essentially because they involve things like emotions as if they're real, when really they're a product of the mind, but we're not the mind. We are souls. We have a mind, we have a body, but we are souls. We don't have a soul, we're souls. This is the basis for the spiritual path, isn't it? To recognize that we're a part of God and we want to reclaim our identity. When the little I shall die, then shall I know who am I. What is a more perfect venue than marriage for grinding away at our ego and at the same time opening the doors of our heart? And that's what it's all about. So that's what the teachings are at the Marriage Foundation. They're purely spiritual, very practically articulated. And so I want you to know that just because you're on a spiritual path does not mean that your marriage is supposed to be amazing. The people, and we help thousands now, the people who we help are for the most part not on a spiritual path until they take our course, until they get into our teachings. And it's a very easily defined spiritual path. It's your marriage. Your marriage, and hear this, your marriage, when it's run properly, will produce unending joy, ever-expanding love, and perfect harmony. You just got to learn how. I hope you subscribe to this channel. Please do that. Please like this video. Please share this video. Let people know that we are here. I'm Paul Friedman. I'm the founder of the Marriage Foundation. Thank you. God bless you, and take care.